caution.
Attention.
Oh, I got it. So there's a caution and There's so gotta use it.
Okay, I think today I learned that God loves us and that we can just live life naturally and like He'll always come to us and be there with us. Cause sometimes we might like love God like in our heart, but we might like feel like maybe we're not doing enough, or like maybe we're not praying or doing enough things, but maybe like in our mind like we still love Him, or we're still thinking about Him, that like God will like make a like have that God has His will for us, and maybe where we're meant to be, and maybe like everything will figure itself out, and that we can rely on God's strength and not our strength. I feel like that's a good thing to remember, that like His yoke is easy, and that we can rest in Him, and
I thought that Pastor Ronnie's speech was very profound. It's different in a way. It shows that you need a more personal connection to God, and you shouldn't be distracted by things that are already ingrained in you by humans, other people, like culture, tradition. And he talked about like the Asian culture that we're all familiar with. I think it mostly shows that personally, I think I should try to focus more on establishing a connection with God and the Holy Spirit instead of just focusing on the tasks that help me do so, like prayer and going to church. Obviously, that's very important, but in the end, I think it's more about the connection that establishes than the task itself.
Ronnie's sermon these past 2 days have been very much reflective on being your authentic self and trying to implement and walk besides God rather than working for God. It's important to be with Him and to work with Him and to be receptive to what He's telling us every day rather than trying to force or be this certain way that everyone thinks you should be.
So what I think that I learned from today is the lesson of like the natural progression of things and what it should be like. So how Ronnie described it was that you first have to know God, and then you will know yourself, and then you will be able to make an impact and like produce fruitful results. And I think that that's very relevant to where I am in my life. So I think that hearing that was very reassuring, because I think oftentimes, especially at where I am thinking about producing the result and then how that defines me as a person, which shouldn't be the case. I have to remember my roots, remember who I am as a Christian, and remember God and prioritize Him. And then I will have a better idea of who I am as a person, and then be able to produce in according to that. So I really appreciated what Ronnie said about that.